Hey everybody, I want to talk in this video about incrementing and decrementing, I believe it's pronounced. So in programming, you'll often see plus signs, which is the addition operator, but then often you will see two in a row, which is the increment operator, and I will be teaching you what this means. You may also see two minus signs in a row. What this will do is increase or decrease a value by 1. So let's go through an example, alright? We have a variable, money. Alright? And just to represent my bank account, this is going to be equal to 0. So money has a value of 0. Now, what we can do is we can use the increment. So let's say I get paid for a month's worth of work. I can say money plus plus. Well, now the value of money is going to be 1. Make sense? Or I could have said minus minus, which then it would be -1. Alright, so far we know is if we put either two minus signs or two plus signs after the word, the variable name, it's going to increment it or decrement it. Is that how you pronounce that? Decrement? I don't know. Anyways, well, this is very common, so you should understand this. There's another thing you will need to know though, and that's if you put the plus or minus signs before it. So what if I say money with two plus signs before it versus two plus signs after it? Well, the main difference is that this one is, let's say we're echoing this phrase out. So echo is just a way to present it to the browser. Echo money plus plus. Well, what this is going to do is it's going to echo money. So money is going to be echoed right then. So what does money equal? It equals 0. So it's going to say 0. And then it's going to increment it. But if instead of doing this one, we do this one, so we say echo plus plus money, well now it's going to increment it, and then it's going to echo it. Does that make sense? So this one is going to echo it first, and then increment it. This one's going to increment it, and then echo it. So what will the results of this be? Well, at the start of our program, the variable money has the value 0. We echo out money, so we're going to get a 0. And then it increments money to 1. So money is equal to 1 now. Now we're going to echo increment money, so now money is equal to 2. And then we're going to echo money, so now we're going to get 2. The reason we have both of those is because we're echoing here, and then we're echoing here. So let's say, just to try things out, I take away this increment. So all we have right now is this. Echo money, just like that. What's going to be sent to the browser is a 0. That's pretty simple to understand because that's the value money was assigned. Well, if we say money plus plus, well now, what's going to be sent to the browser? Still 0. That's because we're echoing money, and then right after we echo it, we're incrementing it. So the echoing comes first. So 0 goes to the browser, but down here, the value of money is 1. So the value of money, oops, knocked something over. The value of money is 1. But what gets sent to the computer, or what gets sent to the browser, is 0. Just to explain this one more time, why it's like this is because money, the original value of money, So this points back to this, and it says, oh, okay, the value is 0. We're going to echo that back to the browser. So this down here is the browser, and the person sees 0. And then after we just finished that, so that's done, we still have to increment it. So this is going to go back to the original value and create it to be 1, because we're adding 1 to it. So now money has the value of 1. So let's try this again. Money, we assign it 12. And then we say echo plus plus money. Just like this. What is going to be sent to the screen? What do you think? That's what I thought too. Indeed, it will be 13. That's because we're echoing, but before we get to the actual variable, we have to increment it first, because the increment comes first. So this goes back, changes 12 to 13. Well, it doesn't go actually change our code, but in the system's memory, it will be replaced with 13 rather than 12. So now, money has the value 13. Well then, once we retrieve this variable, oh, it's not 12 any longer. Now it's 13. So that gets sent as 13. So one more example here. I'm just going to erase everything just so it's clear. Money is equal to 12, okay? We're going to echo money then we're going to echo money plus plus, and then finally we're going to echo money again. So how is this going to work? Well, the first one's pretty easy. It's going to retrieve the value of money, points back, oh, it's 12. So a 12 is going to be sent to the browser. Okay, well now we're going to echo money again. Echo money. So another 12 is being sent to the browser. So this is done, and this is done. Now we have to increment it. So money now has the value 13 rather than 12. Once we echo money again, we get 13. So hopefully that clearly demonstrates incrementing, and obviously decrementing is pretty much the same way, except it goes down instead of up. So if this was money minus minus, it would be 12, 12, 11. Pretty simple. So those are two very important things you will need to know about in PHP. And another way to think about it is, if it's confusing you still, just think of it like this. Money equals 12. Now we're reassigning money to be the value of money plus 1. So how's this going to work? Well, money plus 1, that's going to be 13, and then the money, the original variable, the value it's assigned, it points to the new one of 13. So money equals money plus 1 is pretty much the same thing as money plus plus. So that's the basics of incrementing and decrementing. Pretty much, it's not even really the basics, that's like everything you need to know about it. This will often be used for loops. And I know we haven't learned about that much, but it can be used a certain amount of times. So let's say, oh, you want to stop a loop in a program once it's been done 70 times. Well, each time it's been done, we can have a counter, and then every single time it goes through the program, we can increment counter up 1 until it reaches 70, which then the program will stop. And we'll be getting into that shortly. So basically we're just learning the very basics of programming concepts, so that way once we get into more advanced PHP programming, everything seems to make sense. So I know this is a long video to explain a very simple topic, but thank you for sticking sticking through it, and I'll see you in the next video. Please be sure to subscribe.